There are times when we miss out on some awesome gaming gems that can rival even the most major titles. So, I have made a list of 10 overlooked gems that every gamer can enjoy and have an insane experience. All these games are tailored to suit every player's taste. I have also added some bonus games in the end. Now, let's look at the first game on our list. Darksiders series. This 3-part series had all the potential to become the next Devil May Cry. But who knows what happened? Low-key, even the name sounds amazing. I suppose we can refer to Darksiders as a series that had no idea what it wanted to be or how it wanted to be presented to players. These games contain a wide range of combined features and mechanics, so it can be difficult to define a distinct genre for this game. The hack and slash gameplay is quite enjoyable, but the open world and various puzzles kind of ruined the game. Darksiders is an open world, but some areas are inaccessible, which means that players must play the storyline linearly. However, the characters are very cool, but the bosses are predictable and not particularly difficult, especially in the first installment. I'm not a very big puzzle lover. That's why some areas felt frustrating, as I got confused many times about which buttons to press to move forward. I mean, I can do it. Occasionally, but not frequently, it just felt too much. RPG fans will be disappointed because there are few possibilities for customization, and practically all of the weapons and armor are fixed.
Please tell me you're a planet.
Now, one thing I'd want to point out is that some systems or features improve over all 3 games, while others remain unchanged. So, if you don't like something about the first game, there's no reason not to try the second one. I recommend doing your own study and reviewing gameplay footage for a better gaming experience. Throughout the 3 parts, you'll see a lot of amazing characters making religious references. Also, the artwork is incredible and deserves a lot of praise. However, the series is quite old, so images and graphics will most likely be poor compared to recently released games. Spec Ops: The Line.
Van of survivors out of the city. That was 6 months ago. Then, 2 weeks ago, we picked up this trip.
Spec Ops is a forgotten game, and you're unlikely to find it anywhere on the internet. The game is a cut above the rest, and the story is extremely well written with a really surprising ending. At first, the game may give players a sensation of squad teammates, similar to Tom Clancy titles. However, as the story progresses, you will see even more amazing things and fall in love with the game. It's also wonderful to realize how important the small details are. Character development and dialogue make the total experience immersive, transporting the players to a vast reality of destruction, deaths, and battle.
Hey! Anyone out there? Soccer says what?
Leave it alone. No one's out there.
And what the
One of the best features is how the game surprises players. Spec Ops appears to be quite basic in the beginning, but as you progress, it quickly transforms into a full-fledged masterpiece. In my perspective, the gameplay mechanics are quite standard or simple, similar to other third-person shooting games with dynamic surrounding elements. And quick-throw weaponry, though the sniper mechanics are the coolest. It's also worth noting that the game offers a variety of additional options at certain points. And for the first time, we have useful AI teammates, unlike the basic ones that just provide linear support. Nevertheless, the story and narrative are what makes Spec Ops a standalone masterpiece. Honestly, it's one of those games that are worth playing ever a decade later after its initial release. My only regret is not playing the game sooner. It's a 10 out of 10 game for sure. Resident Evil 3 Remake. I know that a lot of you already know about this game, but trust me, there are tons of players who haven't played the third remake because of the bad reviews and short linear playtime. Even though the game is quite short, it still provides a badass experience. This installment focuses more on action compared to the second remake, which in my opinion is the best feature about this game. It's so good to feel a refreshing experience rather than the same old running around in the dark and solving puzzles. Resident Evil 3 is definitely a must-play for anyone who has completed all the other games in the series. You can also play the series in chronological order for a better playthrough. The encounters with Nemesis are predictable, unlike Tyrant in Resident Evil 2. The third part is more action-packed and fast-paced. Now, I'd like to mention something crucial about this game. I understand that some of you must have spent 30 to 40 hours playing the game on various difficulties. The remake is far superior to the original. They removed some stuff while simultaneously adding something new. It all boils down to which game you choose first. If you like the original, you'll probably enjoy the remake as well. However, if you've already played the second remake, then you can take a break from the running and hiding and dive into a more action-packed linear experience. Life Strange 2. Life is Strange 2 is a game that will always be held dearly in my heart. The game starts off slow, but instantly hooks you when an argument breaks out between Daniel and their neighbor. When Sean comes out to investigate, things get heated, and an accident happens that causes both Sean, the protagonist, and his brother to flee. This sets the stage for all the later episodes. Now for the graphics, I found the environments to be much prettier than the original Life is Strange game. A prime example is in episode 1 when Sean and Daniel are in the woods together. The graphics were so pretty for a Life is Strange game, and you can see that they definitely improved. Now, for the gameplay overall, I found it interesting playing as a protagonist who seemingly had no power, and the realization that younger brother Daniel had the power creates an interesting storyline.
You think you own the block? Dude, did you get that blood on him?
It was an accident. I swear.
I liked the gameplay with Sean, where you could sketch different environments. It adds to similar mechanics from the first game, when you could take photographs. As Max, I think the telekinetic power Daniel possesses is very cool, maybe not as interesting as rewinding time, but it was good for the sake of the supernatural twist. Now for the characters, I loved Sean as a protagonist, but a lot of people hated his brother Daniel, but I believe they dealt with him very realistically. As a 9-year-old, he was of course bratty and wanted his own way, which helped set the realism that he still is a kid. We have to remember he has this supernatural power, and his life suddenly changed when they were forced on the run. The bond between Sean and Daniel was very impactful, and I enjoyed the brotherly dynamic.
What? I could have texted that.
It's a good start. She'll text back, you'll see.
You know, I don't even know if I want to go tonight.
Oh, please. It's gonna be fun.
Now for the storyline, I found this storyline much cooler than the original. On the run from the law, both Sean and Daniel trying to flee to Mexico in fear of the cops while meeting many obstacles along the way, such as racism, meeting new people, and trying to find ways to scrape up more money to get to Mexico. Overall, looking back at the game again, I genuinely loved the experience and found the story really interesting, emotional, and impactful. Ghostwire Tokyo. Now, I can say that it's a different approach to open world games. Ghostwire is one of those games where you have a lot of magical type powers and are tasked with defeating yokai creatures. The first person perspective highly suited the overall gameplay. The storyline is well written as it complements the open world. You'll basically be running around in Japan and eliminating creatures. Action combat is one of my favorite features of this game. the game perfectly blends survival horror elements, as you will be crouching several times to hide from specific creatures. Ghostwire gives you an open world that is literally filled with yokai creatures, and you can't kill everyone until you get to a higher level. You must rely on completing missions and progressing further to get stronger and gain more experience. Another best thing about the game is that it's set in Tokyo, which means that the whole city looks beautiful and full of lights. Even though there aren't any people around, the lights kind of give you the feeling that the city is alive and thriving. Nevertheless, Ghostwire is something that you shouldn't be sleeping on, as it features a lot of cool stuff and also has the possibility of ray tracing. The graphics and visuals look awesome because of the overall open world setting. Combat feels magical, as you will be killing the creatures by removing their cores.
They should be safe now.
Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. We all wanted this game, but no one completed it. Lost Crown was a much awaited game, as fans were getting a new Prince of Persia title after a very long time. I'm one of those players who actually completed this game, because I prefer Prince of Persia over Assassin's Creed. Despite being a platform game, I believe Lost Crown has so much potential. The storyline was quite good, and made me feel like it's a full-fledged third-person game. The overall narration and story depiction are also kind of sad, as there were a few moments where I felt bad for the protagonist. Nevertheless, all the other aspects made me a huge fan of the game. Lost Crown features a vast world that is highly connected. Every single area is connected to different areas, forming a spider web. Where there's a connection at every end, there are also some cool boss battles, which can prove to be quite difficult for some players. The difficulty is quite balanced, with some easy areas and some hardcore ones filled with frustrating enemies. Finally, my favorite are the powers. Just like in the original Poppy games, Lost Crown also offers similar powers along with some brand new ones, I'm telling you guys. Once you play this game, you'll definitely thank me. I'm not suggesting that it's a good pick for newcomers, but if you're someone who can adjust yourself to completing the entire game, then you will surely have an insane blast. Deus Ex: Human Revolution. We are really going back to the old times for this one. It's been over a decade since the game first released. Deus Ex is one of the most amazing shooting games. There's so much to talk about that made this game a mind-blowing experience. In my opinion, the main reason why Human Revolution differs from other shooting games is because it allows players to complete missions in a variety of ways. You can go all out guns blazing, or even take a more linear stealthy approach. So it was great to have different experiences in one game.
You think one of them will let you into the morgue?
Depends who I run into.
Get over to the station and find a way inside. Because if that hacker was augmented...
Human Revolution offers a pretty good deal in terms of value for money content. The main storyline will take you over 20 hours, which is a major steal. Considering the price of the game, the hacking mechanics are another addictive feature of the game. You can do so much in it, rather than focusing on a linear shooting manner. It's a phenomenal experience, allowing impressive decision making on how you wish to traverse the environment and complete objectives. The availability of different weapons in both guns blazing and stealth combat is straight up amazing. I recommend everyone to use the crossbow as it will. Be your best pick in most scenarios, assuming you have good perks. I especially liked the different outcomes based on the choices you made, and finding hidden paths throughout the environment, which allows for ambushes, stealth kills, or just going straight to the objective without killing anyone. Human Revolution is a one-time intense experience.
You wanted to see me?
Yeah, how you feeling?
I've had better days.
Well, when we're done here, Check him at Dr. Markovic at the limb clinic downtown.
Code Vein, the list definitely deserves at least one anime-style game. So, what could be better than my favorite underrated game, Code Vein? This is a combination of Bloodborne in anime style. I still remember. Back in those days when I only had a low-spec laptop, I instantly decided to play this game as it looked highly engaging with a touch of fast-paced hack-and-slash gameplay. I can confidently say that the game wasn't disappointing, and I had an insane blast playing it. Now, before you make any purchase decisions, I highly recommend that only anime fans or players who are into anime style games should plan on diving into Code Vein. The game can be a letdown if you're not a fan of the genre, but there are so many great things and a vast number of characters. You basically move forward while defeating several enemies along with heavily designed bosses. In my opinion, Code Vein is highly underrated and every JRPG fan should play it if they have completed all the major titles. Honestly, I'm only recommending this game to those who are fans of games like Genshin Impact, Scarlet Nexus, Tales of Arise. These players will surely have an amazing time playing Code Vein, as it features a similar style. The game is not a prime choice for those who are stepping into the genre for the first time. You can say that the game is a combination of Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Code Vein is one of Bandai Namco's most underrated games. Players can also experiment with different powers, skills, blood codes, and gifts. Bully. This game allows you to have an incredible amount of fun. The goal is to prank others, attend classes, interact with other students, and eventually control the entire school. The open world provides you unlimited freedom to explore the entire city. It's similar to Grand Theft Auto, but without violence and weaponry. I've discussed Bully countless times on this channel. There are only two things that you need to know before you become completely convinced that you want to play this game.
Somebody wants to be handicapped. Come on, pants, get out of my face.
Oh, come on, I never meant it. We're equals. Let's talk it out.
The first thing is that Bully is made by Rockstar. The second is an entirely new and different open world scenario. Honestly, Rockstar created a great treasure that has never received enough recognition. This game deserves to be remade. It is also playable on low-end desktops. Bully is an example of a high school dream come true. You can roam around the campus freely, skip classes, make a mess, tease instructors and classmates, and eventually become the king of the entire school. Side missions and mini games are highly entertaining, and you will never be bored. The story is easy to understand. You must become the best and strongest while having a lot of fun throughout your playthrough. Bully allows you to fulfill your craziest high school dreams.
Why'd you do that, man?
Very funny.
Before I reveal my number one pick, here are some honorable mentions. Sleeping Dogs, Sunset Overdrive, Lies of P, Sifu,
Too late to back out now.
Rise of the Ronin, Dragon's Dogma, Europa. Europa is a recently released Studio Ghibli style game. There is only one thing that made me feel like I should include this game in this video. It's the overall beauty of the open world. Trust me, the open world is highly inspired by Studio Ghibli, which for those who don't know, is an OG anime studio known for movies like Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. Players will be able to take a break from the usual RPG games and dive into a more peaceful and stunning open world, filled with exploration. Your main job is to explore every corner and see different places while progressing through the storyline. There are some cool powers as well, which let you soar through the sky. This indie game is available on multiple platforms such as PS5, PS4, PC, Nintendo, Xbox. Now, the open world setting is kind of post-apocalyptic, but you won't feel that the world is dead as the overall beauty is mesmerizing. I believe that more and more players should play these games, resulting in the popularity of lesser-known studios.
Let me rephrase. Is it possible to be homesick for a place you have never been?
These days, when more and more underdeveloped games are coming up with bugs or glitches, it's so great to see AA games giving tough competition to the major studios. In the end, I do believe that Europa is a genre-specific game, as it's probably not for everyone. I'd say it's only for those who are into the genre, or for players who just want to play something new and different.
When you read this, I'll be gone, and the world will look very different from how it does now. But the island should still be there. They built this thing to last.
Alright, this finishes our list of the 10 best games that you shouldn't be sleeping on. All these games have their own pros and cons, but are tailor-made to suit every player's taste. I recommend diving into any of these games if they suit your playstyle. I have picked out some of the forgotten and underrated gems capable of providing a stunning gaming experience. Also, if you have made it this far, then please subscribe, as I'm close to reaching 12,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button and join my Discord community for awesome gaming recommendations.